Hello, and thank you for tuning in to Kresge Innovative Projects Detroit Plus, also known as KIPD Plus's information session. This is Lakila, and I'm the Grants Program Coordinator at COAC Detroit. Let's start off with a quick KIPD Plus program overview. In 2014, the Kresge Foundation's Detroit program launched Kresge Innovative Projects Detroit KIPD to support nonprofits in their work to improve the quality of life and strengthen the fabric of Detroit communities. In 2017, Michigan Community Resources, MCR, joined the program to provide technical assistance, convene cohorts, and create space for grantees to share lessons, attend workshops, and engage in conversation. MCR also provides support shaping the grant program directly with KIPD applicants and grantees. In 2021, the program became KIPD Plus, Kresge Innovative Projects Detroit Plus, reflecting important shifts, including the inclusion of COAC Detroit to administer the grant program and the expansion of the program to include Highland Park and Hamtramck. MCR continues to co-lead the program alongside COAC and Kresge. Even though there were some changes, the program goal to support resident priorities and community-driven projects remains the same. KIPD Plus seeks Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park-based organizations serving residents and neighborhoods of those cities, projects that will strengthen neighborhoods and improve the quality of residents' lives, projects that advance neighborhood priorities and reflect the culture, history, and demographics of residents served, and visions shaped by community members through inclusive collaborative processes. Learn more about how we define community engagement in the program guidelines, which can be found on the KIPD Plus website, coacdetroit.org/KIPD. In addition, projects may be for specific locations in Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park, like a building renovation or lot transformation, or not linked to a particular location, but serving the residents of Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park, like helping community members organize around a specific issue impacting their community. We recognize that every organization and every project is different. To meet you where you are in your process, KIPD Plus provides funding for 4 different stages of community-based projects. If you are in the visioning and ideation stage, consider a pre-planning grant. You can receive up to $20,000 for up to 18 months. If you have your vision and you are ready to plan, consider a planning grant. You can receive up to $35,000 for up to 24 months. If you've started planning but have a few more I's to dot and T's to cross before you are ready to implement, consider a planning and implementation grant. With the planning and implementation grant, you can receive up to $150,000 for up to 24 months. If you have your plans vetted and created by community and just need the dollars to implement, consider an implementation grant. You can receive up to $150,000 for up to 24 months. Think about selecting the project track that best suits where you are in the process, not the time or dollar amount. In addition, grantees may finish before the allotted time, and we welcome and encourage applications that may have budgets less than the maximum grant amount. For help determining which grant is the best fit for your project, make an appointment with MCR office hours. Visit coacdetroit.org/KIPD to make an appointment under the Applying section. KIPD Plus is a competitive selection process. You can get a sense of how many grants per track we awarded last year by looking at the bottom of each column. In addition to funding for pre-planning, planning and implementation, or implementation projects, KIPD Plus grantees also get one-on-one technical assistance and support from Michigan Community Resources, and the opportunity to be a part of a unique group of KIPD Plus grantees who learn from and share with one another. Interested in applying? Eligible applicants must be nonprofit organizations located in Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park that serve residents of those cities. Nonprofits do not have to have a physical location. If this is the case, we ask that you include your mailing address and zip code in the appropriate section of your application. Nonprofit organizations must also align with KIPD Plus principles, which can be found in the program guidelines. KIPD Plus is not open to individuals, funders, organizations that discriminate on the basis of race, color, religion, gender, national origin, citizenship status, age, disability, sexual orientation, or veteran status. Faith-based organizations are eligible to apply if their work and proposed project serves the community at large, such as a faith-based community development organization. For-profit organizations cannot apply. Public entities like city departments and quasi-governmental organizations are not eligible to apply. Academic institutions like community college, college and university programs that concentrate primarily on degree granting activities cannot apply. Detroit Public Schools Community District, DPSCD, schools are not eligible to apply, but nonprofit schools are eligible to apply if their projects are open to residents beyond their student bodies and serve their broader communities. For pre-planning grants, organizations must have at least 1 year of experience working with and serving residents in Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park to apply. For planning and implementation applicants, organizations must have at least 2 years experience working with and serving residents in Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park. All 501c3 nonprofits who are not eligible to apply may be fiduciaries for eligible organizations or apply as part of a collaborative application as long as they are not the applicant of record. Meet the eligibility requirements? Excellent. Here are some more things to note. Organizations may be the lead applicant for only one application per round. If your organization is not currently in good standing with LARA and/or the IRS, you are still eligible to submit Phase 1 and Phase 2 applications if invited, but you must be in good standing prior to receiving a grant award. Michigan Community Resources is available to assist organizations with meeting compliance requirements. You can contact them at askkipd@mi-community.org. Applicants that do not meet all eligibility requirements at any point will not be considered and will be notified they are ineligible for the program. Please keep in mind, KIPD Plus is a competitive grant. Last year, we received a record number of applications. We awarded 28 grantees out of 264 applicants. Because it is a competitive process, it's possible you could receive a perfect score and still not receive a grant. It does not mean your project is bad or not worthy of a grant. It means we received far more requests than can be funded through this program. But we have some resources to give you your best shot. Michigan Community Resources is always available to support you. Michigan Community Resources will host virtual office hours for one-on-one application support and to answer any questions you may have. Have translators available to help speakers of Arabic, Bengali, Bangla, and Spanish. Be available by email to assist throughout the application process. You can contact them at askkipd@mi-community.org. The anticipated program timeline is as follows. Phase 1 applications are open from November 7th, 2022 to January 11th, 2023. Finalists will be invited to submit Phase 2 applications around March 2023. Phase 2 applications will close around April 2023, and we anticipate a 1-month application window. Grantees will be notified and grants will be dispersed around June 2023. A grantee kickoff celebration will be held around July 2023. The grant period and cohort convenings are expected between June 2023 and June 2025. Dates are subject to change, and our goal is to get grantees funds by the time the weather is nice for construction, but timeline is fluid and may vary based on volume. There are 5 steps to the KIPD Plus application process. Step 1, submit your application, video or written, by 5 p.m. on Wednesday, January 11th, 2023. Step 2, a majority resident selection committee will review and score applications, and COAC Detroit will invite finalists to submit Phase 2 applications in March 2023. Step 3, finalists schedule an optional site visit with COAC program staff in March 2023 through April 2023. This step is optional but strongly encouraged so that you have a chance to showcase aspects of your project that are not easily captured by words. Step 4, finalists submit written Phase 2 applications in April 2023. Step 5, selection committee reviews Phase 2 applications and chooses grantee projects in June 2023. COAC retains final decision making but is committed to honoring the committee's recommendations. We'll be concentrating on Phase 1 applications for now, but if you are invited to submit a finalist application, there will be an additional information session that walks you through the Phase 2 application process. The Phase 1 application process includes submitting an application, including your video or written narrative question responses, anytime between Monday, November 7th, 2022 and Wednesday, January 11th, 2023 by 5 p.m. through submittable. Find the link at coacdetroit.org/KIPD. Please note, an email address is needed to submit an application and receive confirmation that an application has been received. Whoever's email is used to submit the application will receive all notifications about the program. We highly recommend choosing the staff person who will be the main point of contact for your organization throughout the entire process. Share the email and login password with another team member as a backup. If you do not have access to technology or internet and need to drop off a paper application, you can contact Michigan Community Resources for options at askkipd@mi-community.org or simply call them at 313-969-0149. For Phase 1 applications, you will need to submit a fully completed application, attach a project budget. Templates are available on the KIPD Plus website, coacdetroit.org/KIPD. Please note the template shows suggested budget line items. However, your line items can be the same as the examples or they can be different. Confirm that your organization's leadership knows your organization is applying. It is expected that all applicant executive directors or CEOs are aware their organization is submitting an application. If your organization is not a registered 501c3 in good standing, you can still apply with a fiduciary. You don't need to identify a fiduciary at this stage, but you will if you're invited to phase 2. If you do have a fiduciary, we ask that you include their name. If you need help finding a fiduciary, contact Michigan Community Resources at askkipd@mi-community.org. Organizations need to be in good standing with the state and IRS in order to receive an award. The earlier you can provide us with your information, the earlier we can work with you with support from MCR to resolve any issues. The earlier the better, as we know the IRS and these processes can take time. Step 2 includes the application review and finalist selection process. KIPD Plus program partners are committed to honoring and uplifting resident and community decision making. Selection committee members will include Kresge staff, COACT staff, residents of Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park chosen through a public nomination process, other community partners representing a diverse cross-sector perspective, including arts and culture, city government, architecture and design, past nonprofit grantees, nonprofits doing similar work. MCR staff will support the process as observers to encourage program values and priorities. We are also committed to choosing a diverse selection committee that is reflective of our communities, including true representation of lived experience, gender, race and ethnicity, age, in each Detroit City Council district in Hamtramck and Highland Park. All selection committee members will attend an implicit bias training to help mitigate subconscious biases, particularly those favoring organizations who have more access to resources, such as dedicated fundraising and development staff. This round, we are aiming to assemble a selection committee made up of 75% residents of Detroit, Hamtramck, and Highland Park, and 25% COACT and Kresge program staff. All selection committee members will have an equal vote, with at least 75% resident reviews per application and 25% program staff. Committee members will be asked to be listed on the KIPD Plus public website to promote and increase transparency around grant selection. However, all questions regarding program selection and program details should be directed to program staff to ensure fairness and consistency for all applicants. The selection committee will choose finalists based on the following. For pre-planning applications, selection committee members will choose finalists based on a history of leading work that serves a Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park community, the community the project aims to serve and ideas for engagement, and how support will be driven by and benefit their community. For planning and implementation applications, selection committee members will choose finalists based on a history of leading work that serves a Detroit, Hamtramck, or Highland Park community, clear and discrete scope and goals, the community the project aims to serve and how the proposed project advances community priorities, and how the project will improve quality of life in the community long term. Scoring rubrics for each track can be found in the program guidelines on the KIPD Plus website. Please note that we aim to be as transparent about this as possible. Scoring is one component of selection. During the selection committee convening, the majority resident selection committee is also invited to uplift projects that stand out to them based on the goals and value of the program to fund resident priorities and vision for our communities. We know smaller organizations, smaller budget and staff sizes, often may not have grant writers on staff or access to fundraising support. Traditional scoring rubrics disproportionately negatively impact these smaller organizations. This type of dialogue with our resident-driven committee is one way we attempt to mitigate this inequity. We also consider other factors like geography and selecting projects across all eligible areas, selecting projects across all 4 grant tracks, supporting BIPOC-led projects and organizations that are reflective of our diverse communities. Ultimately, a selection committee that is made up of majority residents will rank their top choices in projects using the scoring rubric and taking into account these other factors. Again, scoring is just one component in the selection process. After reviewing all applications, finalists will be selected. Everyone will be notified whether or not they are selected. We estimate that all finalists will be notified by late March 2023. When possible, applicants will also be connected to additional resources at COAC or through COAC's network of capacity building partners. Applicants not selected to submit a Phase 2 application will have the opportunity to meet one-on-one with Michigan Community Resources to discuss their application and other opportunities to support their project. Again, keep in mind, there may not be significant areas for improvement because we receive many competitive and strong applications. We connect all applicants not selected for a grant to other resources to help support pursuing funding and completion of the project, including a list of other resources and access to capacity building support. We are also working behind the scenes to improve connectivity to other funding and resources and hope to support more projects in the future. Phase 2 applications will open in late March 2023. Phase 2 applications, including question responses and all attachments, must be filled out and submitted online by April 2023. We aim for a 30-day application period, but please note that all dates are subject to change. Only written submissions will be accepted in Phase 2, but all applicants have the option to request an informal site visit with COAC staff. Site visits are conducted virtually and recorded to be shared with the selection committee. At this stage, if a fiduciary is needed, applicants must have one identified to be eligible to submit a Phase 2 application. Again, MCR is available to support selecting a fiduciary. All finalists will be notified whether or not they are selected to receive a KIPD Plus grant by summer 2023. Again, at this stage, dates are subject to change. If this sounds like the grant program for you, we hope that you will fill out a KIPD Plus application. Visit coacdetroit.org/KIPD for application links. On our website, you can also find program materials such as the FAQ and guidelines. If you would like to attend our second virtual info session live or let a colleague know about the opportunity, the second info session will be held Thursday, December 8th from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. Be sure to sign up for the COAC newsletter for other notifications related to KIPD Plus and other capacity building resources and opportunities. Sign up at https://coacdetroit.org/connect/. Please remember the KIPD Plus partners are here to support you. Have questions related to the program guidelines, eligibility, submission and selection process, grant disbursement process, and requirements? COAC will be the primary point of contact during the application and selection period and for grant disbursements and reporting if selected. Contact us at grants@coacdetroit.org or give us a call at 313-789-1386. Need someone to review or discuss your application before you submit? Sign up for one-on-one support from MCR, who can support you with reviewing or discussing your application. You may also email general application inquiries to their email, askkipd@mi-community.org. MCR's legal services team can also support applicants with satisfying compliance requirements, including becoming compliant in good legal standing with the state of Michigan and IRS. Email them at legal@mi-community.org. If selected for a grant award, MCR will be the primary point of contact for project technical assistance needs, cohort events, and activities. If you would like historic context of the KIPD program and examples of past grant awards and projects, visit the Kresge website at kresge.org/initiative/KIPD-plus/. Kresge will also continue to engage with future grantees and provide the same partnership and advocacy as in past rounds. Visit their website at kresge.org/initiative/KIPD-plus/. The Kresge Foundation is the funder of the KIPD Plus grant program. Thank you so much for taking time to learn more about KIPD Plus, and we look forward to hopefully hearing more about your project.